We're approaching the end of the year and it's time for family traditions all around. Everyone has their traditions at home. It could be volunteering at a soup kitchen, checking out a light show from that one neighbor that goes all out on their electric bill, planning how late you should be to conveniently miss your flight so that you don't have to see your horrible family for the holidays, or simply just making your favorite foods. My tradition was to see my family consume a ton of food and Hennessy, and unwrap gifts while we catch up on what we've been doing for the last 364 days of the year. Whatever your tradition is, it's changed this year because of the C word. Not that C word. Get your mind out of gutter. Of course I'm talking about this C word. Here in sunny California, all organized gatherings are banned because of the anti-mask Karens who all seem to have medical exemptions from their imaginary doctors. So while the rest of the world enjoys fewer restrictions, we get to have Christmas through Zoom. So thanks, Karen. Karens are really making us feel like this scene from SpongeBob. Alright, back to traditions. Every year, one of the dishes that we have is pancit. Filipinos make it a tradition to have pancit every year because it's used as a celebratory dish to symbolize long life. This year I might not be having pancit with my family, but I do like to have it whenever I have a chance to make it. Who knows, maybe that's just me being brainwashed thinking that there's something to celebrate every year. So how did pancit arrive on my plate? Well, like many other Filipino dishes, it derives from Chinese influence, specifically the Fujian province. The legend says that a trader from Fujian brought his own noodle dish to the Philippines, and while he was there he decided to recreate the dish with the resources that were convenient to him on the islands. In fact, the dish was described as something conveniently cooked, which if you translate that to Hokkien, it's called pianisit, which is where pancit gets its name. Word got around quick to the Filipino people about pancit because it was such a quick and easy meal to make. Because of its simplicity, pancit actually became the first known street food, targeting factory workers and other heavy labor workers. That's right, your favorite Filipino noodle dish wasn't made to celebrate anything back in the day. It was to feed people who were working their off all day and they came home to no time to make their own dinner. Pancit eventually did become a celebratory dish because of a specific variation called pancit sotanghon. Sotanghon is glass noodles. Back then, you couldn't get sotanghon very often because it had to be imported from China. So if you had it, you only made it for a special occasion. You also didn't cut the noodles either because it signifies long life and good health, which is why you find it at Filipino birthday parties, weddings, casual family gatherings, etc., etc. Because that's exactly what we want, for people to live longer. Not really. The world is getting overpopulated. There are so many variations of pancit out there. Even my previous video where I make palabok, that's also a variation of pancit if you guys wanted to check that out as well. But today I'll be showing you my pancit. My recipe, my take, not yours, not what you're used to seeing, so don't come at me. Let me show you guys how to make it. The ingredients you'll need to prepare are cabbage, carrot, onion, garlic, pork belly, chicken stock, fish sauce, annatto powder, and bihon. Now just these ingredients alone will be good enough to make the simplest pancit ever. But in my recipe, I like to add snow peas, ampalaya, shrimp, and lomi noodles. Now just because these are the ingredients that you see here doesn't mean that these should be the only things that you use. There are tons more things you can add, and I've compiled a list of other ingredients that you may also use. Let's start chopping. We'll grab our carrots, shave off the skin, and julienne them. Clearly I'm no Jedi Master because this entire process of julienning 3 carrots took me 15 minutes. Alright, enough about how bad I am with a knife. Here's one of the optional fruits you can use. This is ampalaya, also known as a bitter melon. This fruit is similar to the oppo that I used in one of my previous videos when I made ginisang oppo. Ampalaya is very bitter, just like oppo. We're not going to be using the insides or the seeds, so you can just scrape those parts out. Dice them however you like, but I like to keep them medium-sized lengths. Then we'll chop up a decent amount of cabbage. This is what's going to make your pancit have a little bit of crunch while you're eating. I'm not using a whole lot since I'm using other vegetables in this recipe. Then we'll dice up a whole red onion. It doesn't matter which onion you choose. I just chose red onion to give the pancit a little bit of color, but the taste would be virtually the same as a white or yellow onion. Garlic is a must. Finally chop as much garlic as you want. My uncle once told me that the more garlic you use, the better it tastes. Alright, for the snow peas, this is another vegetable that is completely optional to use. The snow peas are prepared simply by cutting off the ends on each side. Don't get these confused with snap peas or edamame. Snow peas are thin and you can actually eat these whole with the pod. Okay, and the last thing we'll prepare is the pork belly. Just dice them into small cuts. You can substitute this with chicken for a healthier option, but the goodness of that pork fat makes everything taste so good. The diabetes you get from it cannot even compare, I guarantee you. Here's what my mise-en-place looks like now. We're going to start off in our wok with some oil and get it nice and hot. We're going to saute all of our vegetables very well. Make sure to take your time doing this because you don't want any vegetables to be crunchy at the end, especially your carrots. If you're adding bitter vegetables like celery or ampalaya like I'm using here, make sure you cook it out thoroughly to reduce the bitter taste. Take everything out and we'll go in with more oil. Start frying the pork belly to get it brown. You can season it with a little bit of pepper, but keep frying it until the fat starts rendering out. Then you can go in with your shrimp and cook it all together with the pork fat. Again, take everything out but leave the remaining fat in the wok. This is packed with tons of flavor. We'll mix this together with our chicken stock and our annatto powder. Whisk it well, bring it to a boil, and then transfer it to another pan. Here, we're going to let it boil and use it to cook our bihon noodles. Keep cooking it through until the noodle starts to look a little bit translucent. Then we can go back in with our cooked meat and veggies. The veggies should help soak up the remainder of the liquid. And then at that point, you can transfer everything back to the wok to stir fry with the lomi noodles. Mix everything thoroughly and add fish sauce and pepper to your desired taste. When you're plating everything, it's best to use slices of lemon or calamansi as garnish. And that's the dish. Like and subscribe for more. I'll be trying to post more videos often. And before the year ends, I'd like to take the time to thank everyone who has supported me in this journey this year. Times are tough for everyone, but I appreciate all the kind words that you've all left for me. You're the reason why I do these videos, and I'm forever grateful for you all. Until next time, stay hungry, fam.